Hi, this is a game between Fallen Kingdom and Breakers. This is a game that shows the potential of Red Talus playing a slow game. So that's why I think it's very interesting. So let's see how it goes. It starts the Breakers, which actually... I know already who I want to start in this matchup. I think it's... I don't know, I've not made my mind. Let's start with an archer to take down my carrier, and man witch takes the undead archer. So I revive an archer, summon a cultist, and I'm very lucky here with just connecting my hits. This is a very obviously very beneficial for me. Ending the cultist. I use the archer to take the front of the gate, which I think it's important, despite, I mean, often I don't want to take the spot with the archer because it's very easy for the opponent to kill that archer, but in this situation versus Rakers, which still have a lot of range units, the archer is almost as dead there than further away, so I prefer to at least block the gate. Yeah, something I wanted to talk here is how I discard a pyre early turn. It's very hard for against Breakers often early on to have a big pyre because the game it's range the Kulu with range units kind of keep this distance and it's hard to get many kills on a turn, and I decide that instead of trying to save for this very powerful epic, which is key for Red Talus, just to discard it and see how it go. Which I don't know if it's correct, because Red Talus really needs pyre against Breakers, because life is crucial since it has a high assassination potential. But for now I decide to discard pyre. This is a very questionable play. You can convince me this is a mistake. Or at least that I should keep the Blood Summon, which is another card that's very useful versus the Kulu. But yeah, it's just the first turn I prefer to have a lot of magic to try to get champ, which I think is important versus the Kulu. And I think having the tempo against the Kulu is important too, because this is a matchup where you need to put a lot of pressure. So I decide to discard the whole hand, but you can convince me that it's a mistake and the pyre or blood should be kept. So continuing with the game, he captured my cultist, do some damage to Red Talus, and then I summon Gul'das, which I'm not sure what to think about this. I wanted to champ, but yeah, Gul'das is not really that great. But I think it's pretty okay versus Tekulu, because if you protect Gul'das in the right way, you can keep it alive even once he has some damage on. But I don't know, you know, let me know what you think about that too. Another thing is that I discard a Blood Summon, and really Gul'das, its main use is to be a Blood Summon like gate, and with one down, yeah, it's pretty questionable. So I don't know, maybe I should have discarded, I don't know. But I did summon this game, and of course I summon a card. Cards are very important for the economy, are very good versus the Kulu because it doesn't have a life target, so I'm gonna start, and you will see a lot of cards these games. So I start just summon my cards, a gate to try to support. I don't think I'm going to find an opening for an offensive gate, given that the CV are there, so I just accept that this is the best I'm gonna get. I'm lucky and I get the carrier there, and now it's the turn of the Kulu, which start trying to kill my carriers. Not much luck with it, and I think here Mind Witch also failing intended archer. I think here the Kulu presents with his Siren in front, and he prefers to prioritize not dying, especially against the carriers, than killing my units. I don't know if that's the right approach, but maybe this. We are still learning. I'm still learning the game, and I'm not sure what's the right approach, but I don't know, from the Fallen Kingdom perspective, I'm okay with this. I don't mind at all. Like, in the sense that I kind of like that he's playing this way, but maybe it's stronger than it is. And you see that during the game, it goes pretty close during most of the game, so it kind of works. So it's my turn. I summon another carrier. I tried to spam carriers against the Kulu, just trying to steal our threaten Mind Witch and Wine Mage. Deaths. And then Still versus Deceiver are pretty decent because they are kind of tough and cheap. And yeah, eventually they're going to make more carriers. So I summon one of them. I get to protect Rathalos from Wild Archers and want to be poke. My archer works. I decide to not shift there, to not let Takulu just ping from a safe position my archer. Again, more Deceivers. And at this point, I realize this is going to be a slow game. And let's go into how Rathalos approaches slow games. The true advantage Rathalos has in slow games is one of carriers. Carriers are very good economic. They don't do much damage, but they're pretty tough. And they generate economic advantage. Especially one of the strengths carrier, big strengths that I've learned lately is you can heal your own carriers, and then you don't need to rush them. You just can keep healing the carriers, and he needs to. It's the opponent that has the onus of just doing a lot of damage to wipe them out. Otherwise, the carrier keep healing each other and creating more carriers, and that's very hard to stop. That's half the plan. The other half is abusing Rathalos combos to make a huge pyre. I mean, if you have time to manipulate your hand, and you can create like a big blood summon, like a big pyre, big Porsches, and that's my plan. But as you see, after I discovered first Doom the pyre blood summon, I didn't find anything. No Porsche, no pyre blood summon. So I'm kind of struggling on that zone, and some decisions on the hand management will reflect that. So Takulu decides to kill the carrier and not capture, which makes sense, because I'm just going to reconvert that carrier, and I keep pushing. I send Gul'Dauz on the front, mostly because it's not easy to damage Gul'Dauz. So it's a decent gate, right? Gul'Dauz can threaten that if you get some damage in, then you can then damage a little more, and then just do 6, 7, 8 attack, and why not 9? And that's the strength. So the problem is it's still very expensive for not that much life. So it's not that great, but that's what it does. It's just you can just send him forward, and as long as it's not super exposed. I mean, if he survives one turn, just being able to just do 9 attacks, I think he does enough to pay itself, and that's kind of the goal. So yeah, just send it here. If he wants to poke it, I'm perfectly fine with it, but that's not what he's gonna do. And I'm focusing more on surviving than actually doing damage. And like, I'm fine with this slow game. My plan is to keep building my hand, which is not working fine for now though. And he summons an archer to poke. I'm fine with that. You get lucky though. He only does like 2 damage, I think. He didn't attack. What? I'm sorry. Let's see that. Did I miss it? Okay, I'm clearly... Oh yeah, he did 2 damage. I was on 7 life. Now it goes to each 5 life, so yeah. So, keeping with the game, I summon a warrior. Mostly, yeah, one of the reasons I summon a warrior here, I mean, it's not more that I need a warrior. I need to start freeing my hand to build a hand, and I need to keep using my movement. You can't afford wasting your movement versus Rathalos. You need to keep pushing and pushing. So I'm just doing that. And this becomes a slow game of trade. I mean, we are both using low damage units, like Gul'das and Garrus are very low damage, and he's using Deceivers and White Mage, which are also low damage. So it's expected that, and I'm fine with this game. Like, it gives me time to push my units more forward and build in my hand. I find the Pyre, but now I need like a Blood Summon and or a Porsche, and I keep a Warrior just to use a Blood Summon if I draw it. But yeah, I don't want to discard the Dragons. I don't want to. I kind of want to keep the Farforge weapon, but this might be a mistake. Yeah, I'm trying to build something. I mean, like my deck is running out, and I still don't find the Porsche. I still find my other Blood Summon. Yeah, but I still feel I have time, so I'm just slowly building the hand I want, which is basically Pyre plus Porsche or Blood Summon. So for the Blood Summon, I need a few units to use, which is kind of complicated. In the meantime, I keep just pressuring slowly. And here I see this is totally a mistake. Yeah, I do attack my carrier to heal it, but that was a mistake. I had to first attack with the carrier, then attack my own carrier to heal it, revive it, and attacking in. That's the strength of the carriers on the slow game, and I failed to do it. I know, just sometimes I do those blunders. So yeah, I only do one attack and spend one attack on a useless gate. I mean, it's not useless, but I prefer to attack Cthulhu. And here he does a turn that's actually very annoying for 3 resources, where he just... It's not the damage that annoys me here, but it's just canceling in a way all my movement, all the movement I did. And yeah, it becomes a little hard for capturing my cultist. I need to spend a lot of movement to get back into the game. And oh yeah, one of the... So I decide to give up this zone because everything too spreads. I decide to make it blocked. I decide to move to the left, which is where Dallas is, and just abandon the side. It's not going to be easy for him to just... Like, if he summons units here that do damage, I can just kill them with carriers. He can't support them with ranged units because his gates are blocking support. So I'm fine. If he wants to hit me from the side, I'm just going to take the hit head on. But yeah, he doesn't. Instead, I try to capture this cultist, and I fail, which is very hard for me. I keep poking Cthulhu. Yeah, he brings the Deceiver. The Deceiver is fine because yeah, it's not easy for me to kill them. The problem with the Deceivers is, yes, they're hard to kill, but they don't do much damage, right? That's their weakness. So I failed to make another carrier, and lucky finally I get this this cultist. But again, I do another blunder. Yes, I do blunders a lot. So don't feel bad when you do them yourself. It happens to everybody. I had to kill the carrier first, but then I killed with the carrier the cultist, and I didn't bring a carrier because there wasn't any left onto this carrier. But I had the idea of killing this carrier, and then I will have one and will get it revived here. But I did the wrong order for some reason. Anyway, and there I finally get the Porsche. But instead of doing an economic play as it was, I still play the Pyre. I see an opening to finish the game right there, and I go for it. Which I go all in. I often do go all in. If you see other games of Rob Falling Game, I like going all in. Just start sacrificing everything. I don't mind. Just the idea is to put this warrior to 7 attack. I have the Hellforge weapon that I saved to have a 9 attack. And then I have hopefully dies and the archer rings in. So I kill the Deceiver to maximize the value of the warrior. And yeah, it attacks and that's game, and I don't need the archer. Anyway, I think this was a decent game to show the power of carriers, why I value them higher and higher every time, why the way of Retellus to play a slow game. I would like to say this show Gul'das is useful, but really it did nothing. It was a nerf warrior. It did something. It was a threat, but yeah, I don't like Gul'das. I like it less and less every day. but still did its job. I hope this game helps to understand a little better how I think Retalius should play the slow game. I noticed that I looked for a combo in the hand for several turns. I didn't draw my cards. And sometimes that happens. Retalius has that problem. But he has a few different combos that are not so connected. But yeah, I think that's all for this game.